Things are getting spicy over in Arizona because there were a bunch of issues on Election Day, namely in Maricopa County. Now, they don't want us talking about that, but there were issues. Some stories have come out where there are hundreds of people who were waiting in line, the tabulators weren't working, and many people left. In an official statement, Bill Gates, the name of one of the supervisors in Maricopa County, I think he is like the election supervisor in Maricopa, he said that I believe it was around 17,000 ballots that were forced to be put into box number 3 to be counted later. But that's not really what concerns me. What I find at issue is that many people were waiting in long lines because the machines weren't working and then ultimately left, and we don't know who those people are. This disproportionately favored Democrats, and now we don't actually know the will of the people. So here's what's happening. Katie Hobbs, the current Secretary of State, is suing after Republican officials refused to certify county election results. Cochise County officials have endorsed claims of voter fraud despite no evidence of any problems. Yeah, I don't know about any of that fraud stuff. I know that the machines were having problems. That everybody knows about. And there are serious legal questions about what that means. But I also want to make sure I point out something to all of you, because I'm seeing a lot of people, especially on the right, who are like, this is great. Cochise and Mojave County are not going to certify. But now I think, Mojave did certify. They said under duress. And now Cochise is saying they've not certified. This is actually not good for Republicans. These counties that are not certifying, these are pro-Kari Lake counties, meaning all that happens if they don't certify is that it benefits the vote count for Katie Hobbs. And they say it may actually flip a Republican victory to Democrat if they don't certify and they're past deadline. But let me show you the numbers exactly. And I'll read this story from The Guardian. But I want to make sure it's very clear. We've got a very serious problem if they are moving forward with certifying elections, despite the fact that it is publicly known in all of the mainstream media that many people were disenfranchised and are complaining actively about it right now. Like, there needs to be an overview adjudication of what happened. I don't know if that means you do the election over or what, but these machines, as reported by basically every outlet, were having problems. How can anyone have confidence in the system then, especially with a margin this close? Here's the story from The Guardian. Republican officials in a rural Arizona county refused on Monday to certify the results of the 2022 midterm election, despite no evidence of anything wrong with the count from earlier this month. Well, that is a specific statement, but doesn't get to the real issue that they're refusing to certify over, and that's that machines were having issues. People may have left. There's no question about the count. Like, they counted the ballots. They're claiming the box 3 ballots they've counted. Some people are not happy with that and don't trust it. Fine, I respect that. But more importantly, outright, period, there were people in line who walked away. Those votes are not in the count. That's the issue. Some officials who have embraced voter fraud theories held out, defying a state deadline and setting the stage for a legal battle. You see how they're framing this? They're trying to lump this in with Trump because they know it's not a popular thing to say. They know that it's controversial. And I will stress this. It's how they are going to defeat Kari Lake's supporters and legal challenges. They are framing this as a question of fraud when it's a question of failed voting machines. Now, that's a procedural issue. Now, you can argue someone sabotaged the machines, I guess. I don't see evidence of that. I just see they weren't working. That's a fact, reported fact. That is the point by which you need to approach this. The move came amid pressure from prominent Republicans to reject results showing Democrats winning top races. And the county was holding out in the afternoon of a nail-biting day that was the deadline for several counties to confirm results. In a lawsuit on Monday, the Secretary of State, Katie Hobbs, a Democrat who narrowly won the race for governor, asked a judge to order county officials to canvass the election, which she said was an obligation under Arizona law. Lawyers representing a Cochise County voter and a group of retirees filed a similar lawsuit on Monday. The deadline for counties to approve the official tally of votes, known as the canvass. The two Republican county supervisors delayed the canvass vote until hearing once more about concerns over the certification of ballot tabulators, though election officials have repeatedly said the equipment is properly approved. Hold on there a minute. Approved? Working? What's the issue here? Approved? Yeah, that's not what I'm seeing. I don't know if it's approved or otherwise. I'm saying there are people who have come out and said, hey, when my ballot got kicked back, I saw people leave. That has to be answered for. The state elections director, Corey Lorick, wrote in a letter last week that Hobbs was required by law to approve the statewide canvass by next week, and would have to exclude Cochise County votes if they were not received in time, which would benefit Hobbs, mind you. That would threaten to flip the victor in at least 2 close races, a U.S. House seat and state schools chief from a Republican to a Democrat. So that's actually going to give Democrats an extra seat in the House? Hobbs' lawsuit asks Cochise County Superior Court to order officials to certify the results by Thursday. Failing to certify them would undermine the will of the county's voters and sow further confusion and doubt about the integrity of Arizona's election system. Now, I'll pause and just say, whatever they think they need to do, they should not be forced under duress by threat of law to certify something. The point of certification is this legit? If it is, okay. If it's not, it's not. Telling them they have to do it no matter what defeats the purpose of it. Quote, the Board of Supervisors had all the information they needed to certify this election and failed to uphold their responsibility for Cochise voters. I will also add this too. On a whim, I don't think they should be able to just deny this. If someone's got an issue about certification, they should file a lawsuit and get an injunction and stop certification. A Democratic election attorney, Mark Elias, also pledged via Twitter to sue the county. Elsewhere, Republican supervisors in Mojave County postponed a certification vote until later on Monday after hearing comments from residents angry about problems with ballot printers in Maricopa County. Officials in Maricopa County, the state's largest, where the state capital Phoenix is located, said everyone had a chance to vote and all legal ballots were counted. Full stop. Whoa, that's a bold statement when you have people coming out on the record saying that they weren't able to vote. Election results have largely been certified without issue in jurisdictions across the nation, despite tub thumping by right-wingers during their campaigns who sought to undermine public faith in U.S. democracy. Oh, man, that was a good one. Wow. Who sought to undermine public faith in U.S. democracy. This is why people don't like the corporate press. Shut up. U.S. democracy. Many of the most extreme candidates lost. Donald Trump actually did really well. He did. But it has been a rocky road in Arizona, which became the focal point for efforts by Trump and his allies to overturn the 2020 election and push false narratives of fraud following Joe Biden's surprise win in the state, a result that was first called by Fox News. Another fact that infuriated Trump as he railed against losing the White House. I got to say, man, Trump's lost his most ardent supporters, many people who have abhorrent views. And I should say he's lost support among many of his supporters. He's retained a large base. I'm not trying to make it seem like Trump has lost everybody. No, I'm saying some people have said Trump isn't the same as he used to be. He's not doing enough. But more importantly, he won't shut up about this. He won't. And so you know what? He deserves to lose. I like what Trump had in 2020. Up to the election, school choice, a lot of these issues. I like that he challenged the establishment, but I got to tell you right now, my friends, I'm not seeing it. It's just getting worse every single day. I respect what's happening with legal challenges in Arizona because of what we know for sure in Maricopa County. I'm a fan of Carrie Lake. I want her to win. It's looking slim. I think the media is trying to frame Arizona as a fraud battle because they know that it ties these people to Trump, and Trump does not sound good. I'll show you what Trump had to say, and many of you are probably going to be like, yeah, no, I get it, man, I get it. But let's read some more and learn about what's going on in Arizona first. So I can give you the context. They say Arizona was long a GOP stronghold, but this month, Democrats won most of the highest profile races over Trumpist Republicans. And I will interject as a result of ballot harvesting. Legal ballot harvesting, where people go and say, hey, did you vote? I'll take your vote in for you. Universal mail-in voting makes this substantially more powerful. Lake, who lost the governor's race to Hobbs, and Mark Fincham, the candidate for Secretary of State, have refused to acknowledge their midterm election losses. However, they blame Republican election officials in Maricopa County for a problem with some ballot printers. With some, it was a lot of them. David Becker, executive director of the Nonpartisan Center for Election Innovation and Research, said the officials delaying certification were breeding an illegitimate distrust in elections and disenfranchising voters. In the last year, it's become an unprecedented dereliction of duty for county officials to violate their oaths of office and refuse to certify election results, citing gut feelings or alleged problems in other jurisdictions. Navajo, a rural Republican-leaning county, conservative Yavapai County, and Coconino, which is staunchly Democratic, voted to certify on Monday. In Cochise County, GOP supervisors demanded last week that the Secretary of State prove vote counting machines were legally certified before they would approve election results. So let me show you a bit of what we got going on here. This is from the Mojave Daily News. I'm not super familiar with what this is. It's mojavedailynews.com. Maybe it's not the best publication. Maybe it is. I have no idea. But take a look at this. They say the hour meeting in the morning, this is Mojave County, was recessed so board members could gather more information. When the meeting resumed, the board voted without dissent to certify the results, though Board Chairman Ron Gold and Supervisor Hildy Angius both said they were voting under duress. Okay, well, people can sue about that. But I'm going to tell you right now, they're the problem. Ron Gold and Hildy Angius, it's your fault. Personally, yours. Under duress? In a video, they say that they were told if they did not certify this, they would be committing a felony. So I guess they're going to go ahead and vote. Okay, what's the point of you in this position? You could have resigned. You could have been like, I won't, I resign. You could quit. They're not going to arrest you for quitting. But no, you say it's duress. Why? Here's what I think. I think these people want to pander, but don't actually want to ruffle any feathers or anything like that. They don't want anybody they don't want to shake anything. They don't want to rock the boat, but they also don't want people mad at them. This is their excuse. Because if you look at, I think it's Cochise, they're outright just like, no, we're not going to do it. Like right now, it's Cochise, I believe, right? Cochise County officials have endorsed claims of voter fraud or whatever. I don't know if that's true because that's not what I heard, but they're outright just saying no. So what is she doing? She's suing to force them to do it. Yeah, they're not going to go to prison. I really, really doubt that. Here's what I want to highlight, and then we'll talk about Trump. This is Arizona. These are all the counties. Take a look at this. You've got, where are we at? Cochise County right here. It's got Kari Lake up about 8,500 or 8,300 votes. If they don't certify, Kari Lake loses votes. Then you've got over here, you've got Mojave County, which is got Kari Lake up 41,000, just about 40,000 votes. If they didn't certify, it would benefit Katie Hobbs. And you have Maricopa County. If Maricopa did not certify, yeah, this is what basically gives Katie Hobbs the victory. A narrow victory, I might add, by about 17,100 or so votes. 17,116 votes, it appears. If I gotta say that's within the margin of the printer errors, and that doesn't include people who walked out. So I think Kari Lake's strategy here should probably be, and look, I'm not a lawyer, not campaign person, probably should be getting as many signatures as possible, as quickly as possible, to prove that they have the number of complaints that would result in the election being changed, thus granting standing, being allowed to file a lawsuit. But we'll see. I don't have all the answers. I don't know. If I was a lawyer, maybe I could tell you something better. But we'll see. Over at AZ Family, they say Maricopa, Mojave counties approve canvass of election, but Cochise County refuses to certify. So those are the two other holdouts, which I find particularly interesting. And then we have this. Why they are saying fraud, why they are hoping Donald Trump runs. In the first tweet, Florida's Voice. Governor Ron DeSantis, China zero COVID policy is draconian. It violates people's liberties and it is completely unscientific. The people in China are finally speaking out. We need these draconian COVID policies to go to the ash heap of history where they belong. November 29th, 11:04 a.m. I like Ron DeSantis, and I'm certainly souring upon Trump more and more every day. What did Trump post? I was 232 to 22 in the midterm elections and still have to listen to Dems, rhinos, and the fake news explain how poorly I did. Also, 98.6 in Republican nomination endorsements. Without my endorsement of Republican candidates, the numbers would have been a disaster. Same for 2018 and the corrupt election of 2020, where almost everyone won because, and with the help of me, except me. That's amazing. And that's because the election was rigged and stolen. And that is the selfish ranting, the excuse making that makes people not want to support Trump. I'm sure by now most of you have heard about the Ye interview. Yeah, everybody's talking about it. Everyone's got their opinion. Some are saying that I handled it poorly. I should have just let him talk. Whatever, man. There are a bunch of people who are like, they'll let Ye go on their show and just talk for an hour. I'm like, I don't see the point in that. They knew outright what it was going to be. It was going to be a conversation, and I told them outright, you want to get into that stuff? And I said, who am I kidding? You're going to bring it up. I'm going to push back. I'm going to put my hand up. I'm going to say, hold on, and I'm going to push back. And they're like, yeah, of course. So it is what it is. But I bring it up in this context because Trump is reeling from it. The media is coming out. He's getting denounced by basically everybody. And this is what he has to post. That the election of 2020, you know, I said going into Trump's announcement speech, that if he came out and said MAGA, I was there for it. If he said, here's my plan to fix this country, I was there for it. But if he keeps coming out and complaining about 2020, I am not interested. Ron DeSantis, proving time and time again, he's focused on the issues. That speaks to me. Now, maybe what Trump is saying speaks to the aggrieved. Like, and I mean that literally, people who are upset about 2020. Okay. But I think those extra 12 million votes that Trump got in 2020 that he didn't get in 2016, yeah, those people, that's me. I'm in that bracket. I didn't vote for him the first time. I voted for him the second time. He's lost me. I look at Ron DeSantis and I'm like, okay, here's a guy who's talking about something. Maybe Trump's trying to go for the emotional appeal. But I got to tell you, it just comes off as whiny. You know, when Ye stormed off the show, that's what everybody said. They said he came off like a baby, made of glass, fragile ego. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Look, Ye doesn't owe me anything. He doesn't have to sit there. Nobody does. Dude is extremely wealthy still right now. And people are, you know, everything they're saying about him being broke, dude's got money. He doesn't need to come on my show. He could do whatever he wants. But I kind of feel like he needs that. He needs that story. He needs that attention. So it is what it is. Maybe he's just like Trump in that way. It's got to be on them. It can't be about issues. It can't be a debate. It can't be a conversation. It can't be about what you're going to do better. It's just got to rehash. That's what these guys have in common. You know, I mentioned this earlier. Before the show, I was like, I know you guys want to talk about it. I'm like, I'm not here to make a referendum on your opinions on this. I'm here to talk to you about what your plans are and what you're doing. And yeah, immediately just wanted to talk about it. The Jews. That's what he wanted to talk about. Okay, and he's wrong. And I understand what he's saying, or at least I assumed that what he was trying to say is there are some people coming after me who happen to be Jewish, but he just keeps acting like it's all of them. Here's my point, because I don't want to rehash all that. I want to move on. Is that the dude cannot move on. He is trapped in that. He's wrapped up in it. He's addicted to it. And so is Donald Trump. They got him. This is how they stopped Trump. They stopped Trump by making sure that his obsession cannot shine through and he cannot stand up. If Trump came out and started tweeting about the midterms in the sense that we need to do better to save this country, it was a tremendous success with all of our support. If he came out, you know, wash that stuff away. Let me write your statement for you, Trump. If y'all came out and said, in the midterm elections, I was 232 to 22 in my endorsements. This speaks tremendously as to the support of the MAGA movement, and it shows that the American people are tired of the policies of the Biden administration. We will now seek to prove over the next couple of years that we have the plan for America and that those who put their faith in us will not be let down. For we may not solve every one of your problems, but we will reject policies that seek to undermine you, the American people, and destroy your way of life. We will seek to enact policies to lower the gas prices for you, energy costs, make your lives generally better. And we make that promise to you that as we enter 2024, you will be proud to say that you will vote Republican. Well, Donald Trump couldn't do it. He had to say, you know, when I did this, they stole it from me. And, you know, man, I just want someone to stand up and say, we're going to do right by you. Trust me, I'm here for you. I used to work for nonprofits. And I remember telling a story. You know what? I'll throw in a Marvel reference. I love when in Winter Soldier, when Captain America, you know, the bad guys have taken over the base or whatever. And then he gives this speech where he's like, you know, some of you may not be with me, but, you know, I'm here with you, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, did you write that? Did you write that? And he's like, and he just did it. He's charismatic. He gave that speech. I remember I was, I did some fundraising for nonprofits. And I told this story to a woman to convince her to sign up and give us a contribution. And what I said was, I want you I was like, I don't want to give you a spiel or a pitch about numbers and analytics. I want you to imagine something for me. I want you to imagine you're sleeping under a bridge You're in the dirt. There's no one who cares about you. Not a single person is there for you. You've got nothing, truly nothing. And then one day, as you're sleeping in the dirt, you open your eyes as someone says, hey, and you look up with the sunlight blinding over your face, and you see a hand reach out. And they say, come with me. I'm going to save you. You can be that person. Reach out your hand to these people and say, I will be that person. And I want you to imagine what it would feel like when someone does that for you. That's what we need in leadership. And Donald Trump does a lot of things. Revenge. He embodies that anger. But we need a leader to guide us from the darkness that has been consuming this country. And Trump was better than Biden in a lot of ways, but he's certainly not got it now. So we'll see. I certainly don't think Katie Hobbs has it. I think Carrie Lake embodies so much more of what I just described. Tremendous. Carrie Lake is absolutely brilliant. And I think she's going to do great things no matter what happens here. But Trump ain't doing it. Sorry, man. This is all he can say over and over again is it's not fair. It's not fair. The world isn't fair, bro. You know how the Democrats win? Ballot harvesting. Legal ballot harvesting. It's legal. Please, I beg of you, you figure that out. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 4 p.m. over at youtube.com/Timcast. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.